What is going on? I'm Zedmont. Warships, I have not even looked at the tree. I did some planning, but I've only done planning for the first day, so that is what we're going to do. We are going to jump into the shop. I know I did not bring you sneak peeks. I've let my own creator code expire. Hopefully you haven't made the same mistake. We're going to jump into Warships, though, and I finished at rank 22, which will not get me all of the good things, but it'll get me some of them. And it gets me a little teeny tiny bit of leeway in iron, which is going to be very, very helpful, because I think that if all goes well, I'm going to have 2 or somewhere between 2 and 6 extra keys, between 2 and 8 extra keys, I should say, as far as when I get into 4 engine rooms. And that's the first spoiler, as we are going for 4 engine rooms. And there are a few mistakes along the way, and we're going to cover those too. So do not go get mines. That is mistake number 1. We are going to go straight into that engine room, and then we're going to go straight into that engine room. And if we get mines first, we're not going to have enough keys. So do your math quickly, and I can go back and get mines once this chest comes through, I'm pretty sure, but I have to collect those 4 in iron, ideally would be great, and then we have to get enough tech to go there. So there's lots and lots of things that are at play here. So first and foremost, we are going to max that, and then we're going to get all of our defenses up to tick 4, because most of them give all of the build count at tick 4. We are also going to go through the building health and through the sniper towers, and of course we're going to max our building health. That is fairly standard, and then we're going to get our snipers up to tick 4, and just like that, we've got enough to get through to that next engine room. We're going to come back for gunboat. Don't forget about gunboat, is definitely in our calculations. And then we are going to get to that next engine room, and I am going to max heavies. Basically, there's a couple metas that are going to be available. There's going to be rifles and bombardiers are about there-ish. I think those are the bombardiers we're talking about. Rifles and those guys, or the heavy rush for early on, seems to be the consensus from what I've been reading and what I've heard from people. I guess you could go Zookas as well, but mortars are a big no-no, I think, this season, so we're just going to keep going forwards. And on this account anyways, which I probably will only be playing 1, we are going to heavy rush, and heavy rush always works. It's just a matter of if it's going to be fast enough or not. And through the troop damage, through the flares, and as always, tick 3 flares are sort of the sweet spot. And then we have got enough to get to there. And now we need to figure out what we are going to spend things on. And I'm going to get my troop damage up a bit. We're going to get our boom cannons to 3 because that gets your build count to max. And then I'm going to leave my gunboat for the second, and you know what? Let's just get our troop damage up, and then we'll get a little teeny tiny bit there, and we've got our starting tech. So your starting tech will likely be something like that. This is going to be very, very common, and then once we get into there, we should have enough to get that next engine room if my calculations have been correct. I think we're going to have in the neighborhood of 2 to 8 keys extra to get into that engine room, and then we can come back for mines, and that's all without needing any sort of rank chests. And now we just need to find ourselves a simple base. And for those of you who chose to get mines, you're seeing a lot of bases that look a lot like this, where they have the mines hugging along that center line and then a bunch of defenses. Otherwise, it's very, very hard to find a 3 engine room base. Basically, every single person has 4 engine rooms, or they have green mines. So 2 main techs, but most of the people who are winning do have 4 engine rooms. If you look at the leaderboard, it's all 4. So that's where this tech tree guide is trying to send you to. And so just to be lazy and not have to look too hard, I'm going to build this base. The problem with starting late is that everyone else has 4 extra chests, so we are not going to do well. Starting late has 2 benefits. Number 1, you get to see which meta is the best, which meta is succeeding, and number 2, maybe improve upon that if there's a couple little things, like I know a lot of people got mines and then regretted it, or went and got mortars and regretted it. Overall, this does seem like the best path. It gives you all sorts of options, but by waiting late, everyone you're facing, A, has more experience, and B, they have, 36, 72 more keys than you, and in the neighborhood of 1.2 million more tokens than you. So I am probably going to lose to start the season. I stress this every single season. Don't worry about losing. Losing to start is not important. It's where you finish. Finish strong. And now, as you can see here, we have got all sorts of stuff we need to worry about. I'm kind of tempted to flare back there, but then I have to free clear. We're just going to try this, and I'm going to see how it goes, and I am going to send... I don't even know how to use Tiny Shock yet, so we're just going to make an absolute train wreck of this, and we'll just see how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are going to save 2 boats for that back one. Whether it's the right answer or not, we shall find out. And you know what? Let's use a Tiny Shock on that, and a Tiny Shock on that. Yes, cannons do more damage than boom cannons because they shoot every 2 seconds instead of every 3 seconds, and that's why I'm focusing on those cannons as opposed to anything else. And we're just going to send these guys back here, get them moving just so that we can flare them back past all this stuff. And now we're just going to flare back there and hope that we can get enough GBE to get back there. That boom cannon might be slowing us down a touch, but we need to keep all of our GBE. Otherwise, we're not going to have enough GBE to make that final flare. And it looks like we should be good. So now we're going to make that flare onto there. Whether or not that's the right strategy, I couldn't tell you. That is not for today. Today's guide is just your tech tree guide. Looks like this is not the correct answer as far as how to attack. But we didn't fizzle, we got all the engine rooms, and we're going to get to 4 engine rooms before the person who went and got mine. So don't take this as an attack guide whatsoever. This is just the first attack. It did work in the fact that we didn't fizzle, but it did not work in the fact that we very likely lost. Almost certainly lost to Jess. And what did Jess do? Jess got a 242. So they went and got green mines, and they were only 5 seconds faster. Our tech tree is far better in my mind. You guys do let me know what you think about that. But we have set ourselves up for success. And now I'm going to do a little pause. You don't need to see this part. This is not the important bit. I'll come back in a sec once I get some chests. Okay, before we progress too far, have been getting some wins, have been getting some losses. More wins than I expected, to be honest, but wanted to show, I did change the base a little bit. There was a machine gun here. I've moved it up to here. Makes it a little bit better because that boom cannon reaches troops longer and that machine gun does more closer to the engine room. As far as upgrade priorities, I did machine guns first. I am using my Tiny Shock on machine guns more than anything because it just takes their health down, and cannons are only one shot. So machine guns more important. Then I did cannons on the next upgrade, and my final one is going to be the gunboat because I'm finding that I'm just a little bit low on GBE. I'll show you how I'm attacking. I've improved a little bit, and one of the things that I'm doing is when you drop your troops, I have been finding that, actually, you know what, let's go back a second here. If I show you, I think it was, So I've been trying to split my troops, and I've been trying to not split my troops, and I wanted to show you this. So I sent 3 boats to the right-hand side, thinking that would be quick to get that, and then using, and you notice, first of all, notice that I haven't thrown a flare yet. Because I only have tick 3 flares, I want my troops to walk as far as they can before you use that flare. Saves a little bit of GBE. You can potentially get by with only 1 flare that way. This didn't really work. If I would have waited like even a quarter of a second later, I could have gotten away with it. And now, next note, I've dropped all of these troops already. That gets them walking. It gets them off the boats. It gets them up the ramp. You guys probably know all this. I might have dropped them half a second or maybe even a couple seconds too early, but then we're going to get back there. And notice the difference between these troops. Like, they are all right there. So then I decided that maybe splitting troops isn't the best idea. Let me know if you're splitting or if it depends. But like, they are right on their heels, and I think this engine room would have gotten down quicker if I had 8 boats, would have lost fewer troops, so I'm a little bit torn as far as how I'm attacking and how I'm splitting my troops, but generally speaking, trying to split where possible, generally in a 5 and 3, unless an engine room at the back is wide open, and then I'll do 6 and 2. But in many cases, just doing all of my troops at once, and now we're screwed. We have run into a 4-engine room, and we have basically zero hope of doing anything at this point. So I'm kind of tempted. We only have Tick 1 rifles, but you know what? I'm going to try a dumb. We're going to send our rifles back here. And because those rifles are Tick 1, they are all going to be super weak, but they should be able to get back there and deal with that single shot defense. And then we're just going to do this silly spread thing here. And maybe our rifles will take care of that back engine room all on their own as the rest of our troops kind of just wander around aimlessly. And full clearing is not how I would recommend doing anything Boom Beach related. Often, oh man, let's see, we're going to use a tiny shock back there because our Tick 1 rifles can't even take down a single boom cannon, and maybe I should have used a second flare to get them back there. But now we just need all of these guys to carry on left. Please go get that sniper tower. That's all I ask of you. If you turn right, I am going to die a little bit inside, and some of you did turn right, which I guess isn't the worst thing in the world, but just watching your troops, and I guess this is actually perfect timing because it shows you, hey, 4 engine rooms is better. Like you have this little like island in the middle, this little inlet in the middle, whatever the heck you want to call it. And then you have the 2 different sides. So we're just going to go something like this and like this and like this. Tons of GBE to use, but we just have to walk so gosh darn far that we are going to lose in a giant way. So do stick with the path that I'm laying out for you. Get to 4 engine rooms and get there in a hurry. You will not regret it. Clearing this base, not quickly. Maybe I should have upgraded my rifles. I don't want to waste my tokens, though. Maybe I should have just sent 1 boat of heavies back there instead of rifles. Making your mistakes now when you're almost certainly going to lose anyways, not the worst thing in the world. And we are still claiming an iron. That's the thing. Like, don't worry too much about ranks, except for claiming in the rank you're in or the rank above. So we are going to claim there. We are going to get our troop damage up. I know I said I was going to get gunboat, but troop damage more important. And now let's get a little bit of gunboat and we are set up. Next chest, which is right there, locked and loaded, will get us into 4 engine rooms. And then that chest after that looks like it's going to get us green mines. Maybe. We're going to get green mines before troop health. I know that sounds crazy to some of you, but as you saw there, green mines on the 3 engine room bases doing good things. 4 engine rooms is just going to do even better. And now, again, this is where I'm not totally sure if the right answer is to go for the back engine rooms with, you know what, let's try that. We're going to go for the back engine rooms with 5. Then we'll send our 3. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, getting them as high up as we can and then flaring back because that's going to get them in the blind spot of that machine gun. It's also going to get our maximum number of, or I guess minimum. We want to use the minimum number of flares that we have to. And then as we start to get close, I am going to shock you. And you know what? Let's shock you as well. We have to use another flare. Like it's so close with Tick Fleet 3 flares, and I keep tapping that gosh darned flare button. I know. And now we're going to drop you over here and you, and they're going to start going towards that flare. They're going to get up the beach and in a better spot. And I think going left is working way better on this base. And now just need to carefully watch our GBE, and that should get us on that base, and we should get like a 249 Come on, be in the 250s is even better, but I'm totally happy with a high 240s because most people on this base are getting like a 240. Like, hey, look at that. Called it. That never happens. So we got a 249 simply by going left first. And oh, Silverchair Rocks, a very good player. And we have picked up the W. I don't think I beat them last season. This season, we have picked up the win though. So I'm pretty gosh darn happy with that. And next step, get into that 4-engine room level, and at the 4-engine room level, there are so many bases to copy. Shout out to Requiem. I know he's always angry, but there is a base perhaps you want to copy, and notice that he does have troop health, but I'm willing to bet that he went and got green mines first. So hopefully this tech tree gets you going. More than anything, getting into 4-engine rooms means that you can just look at the leaderboard and find a base. Finding a base on that for 3-engine rooms, Donkey Monkey crushing it. Absolutely beast 4-engine rooms. You guessed it. Like, it's really frustrating when you have to try to go through the leaderboard trying to find a base and there just aren't any there. So get out of 3, get into 4. That is the full-on consensus. Hopefully this tech tree gets you moving. And you'll see if we look towards the top, let's go down to like someone not quite so high, like Alpha Shark, for example. Notice troop health, low numbers. Oh, this is a player that actually went troop health before green mines and a little bit lower ranks. Maybe that's a mistake. Heisenberg, what are you doing? Hasn't started yet. Did that say 0%? I thought it did. So shout out to Heisenberg. Finished very well last season. Lots of these players above me. Anyways, that is your tech primer for season 80. 80 seasons. That is bonkers just how far we've come. I did manage to give a shout out to Silverchair Rocks, which is great. I know I've forgotten players, but that should get you going. Gave you the order of machine guns first, then cannons, then your gunboat, after, of course, your troop damage. Maybe I should have done troop damage before machine guns and cannons, but I forgot about it because it's over there. So heavy rush, standard way to attack, and fairly decent for players who don't have instant training. So that's your primer for season 80. Thank you for coming in, liking, sharing, subscribing, more importantly, commenting, and of course, code ZModding. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. Peace.